What is your scariest swimming experience? About 10 years ago, South China Sea. Huge waves, roiling sea. My buddy and I were swimming my girlfriend on the beach. I was a strong swimmer. He was not. We went out a little too far and agreed we should get back in. I barreled down and kicked like hell and finally got to shore. I turned around to see him much further out and struggling like mad. The beach was empty and the pit of my stomach dropped. He was going to drown. The waves were absolutely insane by this point and I was weak-kneed from the effort of getting in myself. But I ran into the surf, dove over the breakers and started paddling out to him. I stopped 2 meters short of my friend. "How are we doing?" I asked. He was ashen and his voice quivered. "Not good." He struggled to keep his head above water. I said, "Look, we gotta go in now. It's not going to be easy, but we'll do it together." "Okay." We were both utterly exhausted, and by this point I too was swallowing a lot of water. The sea heaved around us in the bright sunshine. The shore seemed a mile away. It was terrifying. He went first, bearing down and kicking like mad. Every few seconds he would come up for air. It felt like we were making no progress. I yelled, "Kick. Kick, goddammit," and he kicked as hard as he could. After about 5 minutes of this, I could tell we were noticeably closer to the shore. "Look," I said, 5 minutes more of this and we're going to be there. It's no problem." By this point I was reaching my physical limit and extremely scared. He choked for a bit and we tried again. From behind I started pushing him in the back to start him off and then I would catch up. After what seemed like forever, I felt a small rock under my toes and I knew we were getting close. The breakers crashed all around us. "We can almost stand," I said. My friend said nothing. He put his head down and kicked like crazy. When we came up again, we were standing. The breakers were huge and threatened to push us under constantly. He was on his hands and knees, so I ended up half dragging and half pushing him to the shore. We collapsed on the sand and my girlfriend was crying. A group of people had formed from somewhere. I held hands with my buddy and we stared into the overhead sun. Later that night, we were sitting up after everyone else went to bed. "I was ready to give up," he said. "Me too," I said. When I went back in, I didn't think either of us would come out alive. From that day onwards, I haven't swam in the sea.